Good morning. I welcome you all once again for software testing class, unit number 3. So we're discussing static testing techniques, and today's is your session number 6. So the contents of today's class are, we're going to discuss about what you can call the guidelines. Yes, the guidelines to be followed, what you can call in the C programming, C coding guidelines. In addition to the C coding, maybe in the next class we may discuss about the guidelines of our what you can call Java language and so on. So what are the guidelines to be followed in C programming? We are going to discuss in today's session, what you can call this. So if you, as you have seen in the previous classes, if you follow the guidelines, what you can call, it will be very easier for testing and maintenance. It will be easier for reducing the complexity. It is very easier for understanding, and it is also helpful for readability, as what we discussed in the previous topics. Yes. So we need to follow the guidelines. If you don't follow guidelines, then it will be randomization. Like for example, if you consider the college also, so there are timings are there for the college. So the college begins with 9 and ends with 4:30. If you don't have the timings or guidelines, so then what happens? Everyone will come whenever they want that. So like that should not happen. That there are guidelines, and you should come in uniform. You should carry your ID card and so on. So you cannot come whenever you want. There are some timings are there. You need to follow those timings. That is what we can call. That is guidelines. The timings. Same way here. For the programming language, there are some guidelines what we need to follow that. So for every project, a folder should be maintained that contains all the source code files. See, like for example, you are 5th semester, you are doing ST lab, for example. So all the files stored in a particular what you can call a folder. Yes, 5th semester may be one folder. Under 5th semester, you're having different subject, software testing lab may be there, or NSM lab may be there, and so on. So for each subject, you can make one folder, and whatever the documents related to that. Again, like chapter 1 notes, again, in like for example, ST is your subject. ST in chapter 1, I've given you some PPT. So all PPT of chapter 1 should be there in chapter number 1 folder. Similarly, all the presentation of chapter 2 in another folder, and so on. So if anything, if you want directly, easily, it will be very helpful for you to search the particular documents, what you can call. So for every project, a folder should be maintained that contains all the source code files. Whatever the files related to that particular project are there, that should be there in this particular folder, what you can call. Yes. The folder name should be name of the project. As I told you, software testing is your project, or testing is your project. So you can give the name as testing, or as I told you, so material of the software testing. So all you store in the, you give a name as software testing. Then the backup of the project folder should be taken every day. Yes. What should be taken? A backup should be always taken. Why backup should be taken then? Yes, as you know, if something goes wrong, so only the previous data will be lost. 1 day's data, if the backup is not taken, 1 day's work may be lost. So we don't want any of our work to be lost. So always we need to take a backup. Why? If something goes wrong, we can fetch it or we can recover the data. That is what we call so backup. In the as in the case, the data is very, very important in our case. So always we need to take a backup so that you can recover the data whenever we want. At most 1 day's work will be lost if there is a major failure of the system, what you can call. If something goes wrong also, a data of 1 day will be lost, whereas the other data you can be fetched back, what you can call. Yes, that is why important. So somebody go through this guidelines.
For every project, a folder should be maintained that contains all the source code files. The folder name should be name of the project. The backup of the project folder should be taken every day so that at most 1 day's work will be lost if there is a major failure of the system.
Yes, fine. So these are the guidelines what we need to follow in the case of C programming. We're discussing with the C programming language. Yes, fine. Next. Then the file names should reflect the functionality of the source code given in that file. What should be the name of the file? For example, you are storing IA marks, internal assessment marks. So you can give the file name as IA marks. Yes, and it may be a 5th semester, IA marks 5th semester, and which batch, for example, 2021, your batch. So you can give the name in such a way. Always the name of the file should be what you call the function. What is the what function you open that file? For example, you are opening a file for issuing a what you call circular. So circular, what date? Suppose it's 24th June. So, circular 24th June. And what it may be related? It may be related regarding the working days, or it may be related with the exams. So exams you can specify. So always select the or give the file name, which what should be the name of the file. So what is the function of that particular file? So functionality of the source code given in that file. For example, it may be reading, or you want to read the data from the elements, or you want to display the data into the elements. So display elements or displaying matrix, for example, like that. The file name should reflect the functionality of the source code given in the file, in that particular file. Every file should contain a header that gives the copyright information, name of the file, author of the code, and revision history. So in every file, what should be given there? A header should be given there. Header, like as you know, you give a header and footer for every document. Header is at the top and footer is at the bottom there. Yes, you can see. You can see in here also footer is there given in computer science engineering 15 CS 61T. This is your footer, what we are given it here. Yes, but same way header, what the header should contain, the copyright, who has written the program. Yes, like you're the author, your name should be written, and name of the file. Like as I told you, IA marks 5th semester. So that will be the name of the file, and author of the code, who is the author there is, and revision history there is, that is when you have modified. Suppose you have written in the last month, that will be there, and again then you might have modified. Again it modified on suppose 23rd June. It should be given there. Yes, and this content should not be copyright. Copyright information means what you call, you might have written the own program, and what again this file is not allowed to be copied by somebody else. What you can call. Yes, that is what you call copyright information. So every file should contain a header which gives that copyright information or name of the file or author of the code and revision history when it was modified and so on. Yes, go through somebody.
The file names should reflect the functionality of the source code given in that file. The file name should reflect the functionality of the source code given in that file. Every file should contain a header that gives the copyright information, name of the file, author of the code, and revision history.
So these are the what you call guidelines what you need to follow for C programming language. That's fine. Next, identifiers such as variables, structure, or union members, functions, and macros should have meaningful names. So you're giving function name, like for example, factorial is a function. Give the function name as factorial. Or suppose you are searching a number, search, for example, search may be a function name. So variables like total, salary, sum. Don't just simply give the variables I, J, K and all, or P, Q, R, S. So it does not give any meaning there. So identify like variables or structures or union members. Like for example, you're storing the employee details. So you can give the structure name as employee, and the members of the structure can be employee ID, employee name, employees address, employees phone number, employees designation, employees salary, or just salary something. So that will give a definite meaning there, and that means the structure is of employee having the employee details, employee ID, name or father's name, then date of birth, date of joining, salary, designation, and so on. If you give the members in such a way that, so they are going to give you the definite meaning. That means this structure belongs to employee, and employee details are being stored there. So give in such a way that identifiers such as variables or structures or union members, functions, and macros should have meaningful name. Union of functions, as I told you, factorial, or you want to roots of a quadratic equation. So quadratic equation, something like that, or macros. Macros are nothing but the same module can be used any number of times. Like for example, macros you can call. Then online documentation or comments should be relevant. Always, every file you should have documentation. Documentation should be provided. Why? Because your file or your program will be read by so many members. Yes. So if there is no documentation, they cannot understand what is your program, what logic you have used, what you have done, who has written it, when it has been written, what is the purpose of that. So very, very important, online documentation, or we call that basically comments. Comments should always be there, so that the program or your file can be easily understood by somebody else. A good commenting style is to have the comment in the same line as the code. Or comment can be in the next line or the above line, but it is good practice to have always comment in the same line. So what it is, a for loop which execute 10 times something, a repeat 10 times, or maybe variables for declaring what variables are declared for, or a structure of employee, something like that. The comment should be given in the same line. That will be a best option, or a good programming style or commenting style, what you can call it. Yes, fine. Go through this, somebody.
Identifiers such as variables, structure, or union members, functions, and macros should have meaningful name. Online documentation or comment should be relevant. A good commenting style is to have the comment in the same line as the code.
That is a good practice, what you can call. If you write the comment in the same line, that is good practice. No doubt you can write above or you can write below. Usually we write above, it is also okay, but it's a good practice is for writing the comments in the same line. If the line is small, it's okay, but if the line, the program line is large or a big, we can call, then you can write the what you can call code above what you can call. That is better, you can call. Yes, fine. These are the guidelines what we need to follow, what you can call this. Yes, next. Next, constant and macros should be in uppercase. See, constant, like for example, pi is equal to 3.142. You're going to use the constant value somewhere, or you may use the size of the array. Array size can be 100, for example. Maximum size of the array is 100. So max size should be in capital. Constant and macros should be in uppercase. So these are all guidelines. It is not necessary, it is mandatory. You should follow. But if you follow this, everybody can understand your programming language. These are the guidelines where everyone should follow it. Otherwise, it will be randomized. So which are the arrays, which are the variables, what are the functions, what are the file names, what are the folders, you cannot understand. Simply if you give randomly some names and all. So if you follow these guidelines, everybody can understand your program, what you can call. So constant and macros should be in uppercase. Then proper indentation helps readability and understandability of the code, what you call. Indentation has to do proper braces. Leave some 1 tab or 2 tabs and so on. Yes. So within the for loop comes, then again use a tab. What is the code to be executed within that for loop and so on. So proper spacing, proper alignment of the braces, we call that as indent. Sometimes you get, most of the time in the program, you get what you call a bracket missing or brace missing there. So why that will happen? If there is no proper indentation, you cannot check which is the brace left on there. So always, if you have proper indentation, when the brace is open, it has to be closed. So if there are 5 opening, then there should be 5 closing braces. You can check properly if it is properly indented. Whenever changes are made to a source file, modify the header indicating the date of modification and why the modification has been done, what you can call. So when you do any changes in the particular file, so specify that. So you had written the code in the last week, for example. So now you're doing some changes there. So today, 24th June, you're making changes. So the file has been modified on the 24th June. And what modification you have done there? So you might have added some particular module, or new function might have been added, a new routine might have been added, or new module might have been added. Something you might have done it there. So what you have done it, specify in that particular file. So these are the things what you need to follow there. Constant and macros should always be in uppercase. Yes, should be in uppercase. Proper indentation, which will help you to readable and understand the code properly. And if any changes are made, so you need to modify it, indicating in the header there. Yes, what on which today you have modified, specified the date and why modification has been done. Or you might have got instruction from manager to modify the logic. Your logic may not be working properly, or you may not be getting the desired result. So because of that, you might have modified, or you might have modified some variables, or you might have modified some values. So whatever modification you have done it, you need to specify that. Yes, that is what. So you need to specify. Yes, go through it, somebody.
Constant and macros should be in uppercase. Proper indentation helps readability and understandability of the code. Whenever changes are made to a source file, modify the header indicating the date of modification and why the modification has been done.
Yes. So these are the some of the guidelines what we need to follow in the C coding guideline. Next, some of other things. Then it is better to use the source code configuration software such as SCCS or RCS and so on. Yes. What source code configuration? Like for example, your all the C program end with C, and you may use a Turbo C, or you may use any other Linux, or you may use Unix. So what configuration you are going to use it? You need to specify that, or any other equivalent if there are larger number of source code files to be maintained. Yes. So what is this? You need to specify this. What about the source code configuration? We call that as SCCS, source code configuration software, or we call RCS or any other equivalent software if there are a large number of source code files to be maintained. So you need to specify the source code configuration. That is, what is that? We call that SCCS. So you can understand, it will be easier for understanding what software you are using or what configuration you are using it. Because your program may execute in your system or your software, but it may not execute in any other client software. So for such purpose, you need to specify the source code configuration, what you can call it. Yes, go through this.
It is better to use the source code configuration software SCCS or SCR, RCS, any other equivalent software if there are a large number of source code files to be maintained.
CS for what you can call source code configuration software is fine. Next, during development, the code written by one engineer should be given to another engineer who has to check whether the code guidelines are being followed or not. So you have written the program, you may follow the guidelines or you may not follow the guidelines. So what you call whatever the program you have written, your program or the source code will be given to the other engineer so that he can check whether you're following the guidelines or not. That is what you need to check it then. So whether all these things guidelines what we discussed, whether these guidelines are being followed or not, what you can call it is being checked by other engineer. Yes, that is what we need to follow. So these are the guidelines what we need to follow, what you can call that. Yes, so these are the guidelines for C programming languages. Just we'll go through it once again. What are these guidelines then? Yes, so somebody read this once again, one of you.
C coding guidelines. For every project, a folder should be maintained that contains all the source code files. The folder name should be name of the project. The backup of the project folder should be taken every day so that the most 1 day's work will be lost if there is a major failure of the soft systems.
Yeah, what is that? What it says? For every project, we should give the folder name as the project name is for yes, and the folder name should be the name of the project, and we need to take a backup of the project so that suppose yesterday you have done it, and what you can suppose if you have done the program, and suppose if it is not saved today or something has happened to your software, only today's work will be lost, but the remaining things what you have done before it will always be there. So always you need to take a backup is nothing but taking a copy of your software and storing it in some another location. Basically, is it clear? That is what we call a backup. So always you need to take a backup, and the folder name should be a project name, what you can call. That is what we have discussed in the first. Next, what is that? Yes, next, go through somebody else.
The file name should reflect the functionality of the source code given in that file. The file name should reflect every file should contain a header that gives the copyright information, name of the file, author of the code, and revision history.
Yeah, what we should give the file name, the name of the, we are given the name of the folder as the project name, what the project you're doing, and the file name, you should give the file name such a way that what is the purpose of the file. You're inserting the data or you're sorting, and what sort you're for sorting, you're using bubble sort. The file name can be given bubble sort. You're using sorting, you're sorting the numbers using bubble sort text. You can use the bubble sort. So the file name should be given what is the name of the function as what is the functionality. What is the purpose of that particular software? The particular file should be given that. Yes. And every file should contain a header, what you can call the copyright information, that as you give the contents of this software cannot be copied somewhere else. Yes, so every book contains the copyright information. The first page, the contents of the book cannot be copied and published somewhere. We can use you can refer the book, yes, but you cannot copy and tell that it is my book, something like that. Yes, so that is what you call copyright information. Then the name of the file. What is the name of the file? It should be specified, and who is the author, who has written the author, and the revision history. So revision history, if you do modifications, you need to write. If you're not doing any modification, it will be the same date whenever you return it. Next. Go through somebody.
Identifiers such as variables, structure, or union members, functions, and macros should have meaningful names. Online documentations should be relevant. A good commenting style is to have the comment in the same line as the code.
What we should give, you should give the identifiers or variables or structure or functions with meaningful names. Like as I told you, a structure should be employee, yes, or suppose you're storing the names of the, so in the array, so names you can give, or marks, should give marks. So just don't give array A1, A2, A3, so and so on. That is not a good practice, what you call. And always give documentation or comment should be relevant. And a good commenting style is what? Always you follow or give comments in the same line. That is a good practice. If the line is big, you can give above the line, then below you can write the line, whatever it is. Is it clear? So that is what we need to follow. A good commenting style is to have the comment in the same line as the code, what you can call. So always give the variables, structures, functions, and macros some meaningful names. Yes, fine. Next. Somebody else. Next.
Constant and macros should be in uppercase. Proper indentation helps readability and understandability of the code. Whenever changes are made to a source file, modify the header indicating the date of modification and why the modification has been done.
Yes. What is this? So constants and macros. So like for example, the size of the array, you specify the size of the array may be 100. So maximum size. So that's what you give variable. It should be in capital A, and macro names. Like for example, you're using some macro. So you want to perform the same function again and again. So the macro name also should be in uppercase, and proper indentation will help you readability and understandability of the code. And whenever you do any modification, so for the particular source file, so you should specify the when you have modified it, the date of modification, and what modification you have done it, what you can call. Yes, what modification you have done it. Yes, so why the modification has been done, for what is the purpose of doing modification, you need to specify. Yes, fine. Yes, that is what. Next, some more things.
It is better to use the source code configuration software, SCCS or RCS. Any other equivalent software if there are a large number of source code files to be maintained.
So which software you are using, you can specify the what you can source code configuration software when there are a large number of files. If there are few files, there is not, it is not necessary to store the configuration, what you can call. Yes, so these are the things. And the last one is what you can call, what is the last one, what we need to do?
During development, the code
written by one engineer should be given to another engineer who has to check whether the coding guidelines are being followed or not.
Yeah, what we need to do, you might have written the code now. You want to ensure what you might according to you might have followed the guidelines. But whether you are following the guidelines or not, that has to be checked. So that has to be checked by another engineer, what you call. So your code will be given to somebody else to check that whether you're following the guidelines or not. So during development, the code written by one engineer should be given to another engineer who has to check whether the coding guidelines are being followed or not. So these are all the guidelines what you need to follow, what you can call. Yes. So these are the things what we have discussed in today's session. So with this, we'll wind up the today's session. So we discussed about what are the things today, guiding C coding guidelines. So in the next class, you may discuss about what you can call about the guidelines to be followed by what you call Java coding guidelines and so on. So any other things, if you got any doubts, you can ask me there. Any doubts?
So what about the exams and the colleges?